Moving to the running back position, Wolfpack. Higher or lower Hail Mary. Higher on Saquon again. No, I'm just kidding. Gets Detroit's my number one running back. We all know that, though. He's going to go absolutely bananas against them. I like to, as always, give that preface. I'm trying to focus on the guys that might be questions in your lineup. Now, I love James Conner. Whether I like him even more if Colt McCoy plays. We talked about this on the Sunday show, that he has actually better numbers with Colt McCoy. He gets more touchdown upside, given that McCoy does not run in those read options. I really like him. Again, this week he played 90% of the snaps, saw 95% of the touches. They then release Eno Benjamin. He came off his best game of the year with 21 fantasy points last week, 2 touchdowns, his first 2 touchdowns game of the season after we saw tons of those last year. I think he could be kicking off a nice snap, a nice stretch run here with, again, those increased snaps, increased overall expected fantasy points, and total fantasy points from the backfield. Was the running back 4 last week. I have him at running back 14 plus 3 of his ECR. Yes, San Fran, not the best of matchups, but I think that check down machine, if Colt McCoy especially is under center, big fan of Connor, have him ahead of like Montgomery, of Pollard, of certain options of that nature. Also, higher on both of the Commanders' backfield. Facing Houston, they are giving up a runaway amount of most fantasy points to backfield so far this year. They are absolutely pathetic, giving up 156 yards on the ground. The next closest team is 23 yards less than that. They're giving up over 30 points to backfields right now. So I love Antonio Gibson with no J.D. McKissick. I do actually even love Brian Robinson coming off a 26 carry day. I have him at running back 22, a fringe top 20 guy right alongside Jamal Williams, Donta Foreman. I might even prefer Brian Robinson with that Houston matchup. And they get up big, they get up early, they bleed the clock, and we see Brian Robinson get 20-plus carries. We see Gibson see his smattering of 15-plus with 3 to 4 catches mixed in there, both guys not in the end zone. I would have both Commanders in my starting lineup this week ahead of Cordarrelle Patterson, Swift, Zeke, Najee, all guys I have below both Commanders' backs. In terms of one last hire for you, I'll go Kareem Hunt. As I mentioned, I think they get down big. They get down big early, and that is the favorable game script. Now, we haven't seen a good Hunt day in quite some time. It's 7, 2 points, 9 points. Like, it's been ugly. But I think Buffalo, the team that was rumored to be interested in, maybe we get a little bit of spite out of Kareem Hunt. Now, again, I have him at running back at 28. It's not somebody I love this week, but I have him 4 spots higher than the ECR have him right around the Gus Edwards, the Ravens backs, who actually, you know what, I'm definitely too low on the Ravens guys. Both those guys need to be above Swift, above Zeke. I think they're going to smash Carolina on the ground. So I'll be adjusting that when we sign off here. I love both Ravens guys. In terms of a little bit lower this week, I already mentioned Isiah Pacheco as a guy that really took over the carry 16 last week. Still only played under 40% of the snaps. We saw McKinnon see the majority of those. I think this game against the Chargers is tighter in the terms of they can't just get a runaway. Now, it is a great matchup for ground games. Chargers have been giving up top 5 points to the backfields. D-line getting blown off the ball. They're behind only the Texans are the only team worse in terms of yardage surrendered, 133 yards for the Chargers on the ground. This is a really good spot for Pacheco, but I'll believe it when I see it. I wouldn't be shocked at all if Hilaire maintains that red zone role and we end up getting like a 20 carry, 80-yard day, similar to what we saw last week for Pacheco. Would it be bad? No, that's serviceable, but he's a top fringe RB2 right now. Running back 25 in rankings. I have him close to running back 30. He finishes the running back 35 last week against Jacksonville, another generous defense. That's kind of where I think he slides in this week. No receiving game involvement with McKinnon eating all that work. In fact, I'm a little higher on McKinnon than the ECR, +3 on McKinnon versus -5 on Pacheco. I would prefer Pacheco as the starter. Again, love him as a stash. Love the upside he does have for your stretch runs here. But ultimately, I just a little bit lower on the ECR. Give me Gus Edwards. Give me Kenyon Drake, who he's ranked clearly ahead of right now. Not for me. Thank you, folks. In terms of Hail Marys, it's pretty ugly out there. There's not many, but I just mentioned Jerick McKinnon. He's under 20% rostered still, despite being the clear-cut leader in snaps. It's not a high floor, not a high ceiling, rather, 8, 5, 6, 7, 9, but running back 24, 28, they got higher than Pacheco in all the games so far this year, other than week 1. I do think Jerick McKinnon is a very viable play as CEH gets phased out of the offense. So he is one of my favorite flyers here. I also don't know. Don't mind Kyren Williams catching 3 of his 3 targets, 30 yards through the air. We could continue to see that role get upticked here. I don't love the guy by any stretch, but I am +5 on the ECR. He's ranked as the running back 44. I wouldn't be shocked to just see Cam Akers completely phased out by this week, where Kyren Williams starts to impress and picks up a little bit more work. What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.